Hello everybody, how are you doing? Let's see what happens because now the internet speed is, I've just checked, it's 33 Mbps, 16 Mbps when I started the stream. So let's actually see what will happen. So how's the stream now? You guys have to tell, to be honest. I hope the stream's alright. But Kyle Walker, that is wonderful there from Kyle Walker. He's used his pace and you can see he's dragging himself on there. He's just dragging himself on. I'll just check the speed now again, now that we are connected. Uh, Now the speed is around 21 Mbps, which means it has to be okay, I think. But you guys have to tell me, to be honest. How is it? That's not a penalty. When Luis Diaz didn't appeal for it, that's not a penalty. Yes, it's 20 Mbps, and I think now it has to be fine. The speed has to be fine now. Erling Haaland just cannot get to it, and Phil Foden gets to the ball, and City have been better after that first 15 minutes where we were very bad and Liverpool were coming on to us. Now City have been much better. Gundogan does well there. Rico Lewis. Ah! What a goal that would have been. 20-year Rico Lewis at Anfield, I think, at the cop end. No, not wrong about that end. That would just have been wonderful. But I maybe think you should have cut it back to Erling Haaland. A good shot there. Maybe you could argue that Keller had it covered, but that is his first attempt. The referees actually refereed the game well, to be honest. He's allowed us players to be physical, but players had to maintain their limits. Is not called silly fouls, and it's been better. Rico Lewis, Haaland's big touches let him down there. When things go wrong, it just brains and pose, to be honest. How's the quality of the stream now? If anyone's there, can you please tell me? Is it still buffering? Because now I think it has to be fine, to be honest. Is it still buffering or is it fine? I mean, City are losing 1-0 and are happy with the performance. That just tells you the kind of season we are in. And I think we need to accept this. We need to accept this. Pep Guardiola would be very happy with the performance here. Maybe the first goal, you would say, Walker's would have been better, but in general, the performance has been very good. And I think Rico Lewis attacking midfield could be the way to go. You just don't know who is hiding where. Because Rico Lewis attacking midfield could be the unearthing of a gem, to be honest, because his control in the pockets is just superb. Liverpool is just playing for half time now, it's 40 minutes gone. You just cannot allow Gravenberg or McAllister or Diaz, whoever drops back, to turn like that. and clearly see the problems in the midfield there. Gundogan there contesting for the ball. Till he's down for injury, I'll just be back. Just now. That's a long ball for Salah to chase, and I think the goalkeeper does well. The goalkeeper does very well there. It's gone out. City just want to get to half time with just one goal down. That's I think City's idea as well. I think so both the teams are not paying for anything. This bad news for everyone except Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans would have ideally been hoping for a draw or something. I know the season's young, a lot of things can happen, but we cannot do those things. That is what I'm meaning to say this season. But the defense looks much, much more solid to be honest with. Look at Salah there, fired up. Why do you want to fire Salah up of all people, to be honest? Matthews Nunez into the box. Last minute of the first half. I think we need to have an attempt on goal. It's a good chance to have an attempt on goal. Rico Lewis, Bernardo Silva. Will be great if we can even get a goal. But Kyle Walker, what can I expect when Walker's on the ball? Can just expect it to go back, to be honest. Ilkay Gundogan. Bernardo Silva, Matthews Nunez. Nathan Ackett as well. I think it's 3 minutes of added time there. I don't know how 3 minutes have come, but I think Salah's offside. Surely Salah has to be offside. Ackett extremely well. I think Salah's offside over there, but I don't know. Now it's a corner again. Van Dijk has had two free headers, I think. You surely cannot give him a third. Alexi McAllister with the corner there. The outswinging corner, I think just get to half time like this, and then we can actually see it's a short corner. Trent with the long shot, and I think that should be that. It's a City throw in. I mean, just let the half end. To be honest, Gautam says 1-0 at half time is pure luck. This performance needs a final thrashing at half time. Gautam, the first 15 minutes have been absolutely thrash. I do agree, the first 15-20 minutes. But then I think from then on we have improved considerably. I think our defending has been better. Walker's side is questionable again, Gautam. Walker's side is questionable. But I think Ake, what's your comments, Gautam, on Ake's performance? What do you think, Gautam, about Ake's performance? Purely Ake versus Salah. Let us, uh, let us read individual duels. What do you think, Gautam, on Ake performance versus Salah? And also, how's the stream now, by the way? Is it still buffering? Because I think it's much more improved now. But that Gakpo one was purely on Kyle Walker. I mean, looking at the position, but I think Ake was very good. Ake was fantastic there. Ake was absolutely fantastic. It's Kyle Walker. Look at Ruben Diaz, telling to Kyle Walker. Look at Ruben Diaz comment speaking with Kyle Walker right after that goal. Kyle Walker's had an absolute stinker. He's had an absolute shit performance. If I think in this entire team, I think it's probably Kyle Walker and maybe Bernardo Silva. I think not Bernardo Silva, sorry, Kyle Walker and Manuel Akanji. I think these are the two people. These are the two people who's had absolute stinkers. Gotham says no buffering now. Yes, yes, yeah. Then that's fine. Then that's fine. But Gotham, what is happening with us? What do you think? What is actually happening with us? Is it that we as fans are so used to, we as City fans have been so used to success that are we not able to accept how the team is now, or what is it that is happening to us? Because I don't know, I'm like a bit, especially see the defeat that hurt the most. I mean, it's a draw, but it feels like a defeat. The defeat that hurt the most was the Feyenoord one. I don't know, Gautam, what happened. What happened in that Feyenoord defeat? I think because before that against Sporting we should have won. Amorim also told that City were the better team first half. Against Brighton the first half was fantastic. We should have been 3-4 goals up and done. I mean, all of the matches, if you see that we have lost against Spurs, we should have been 3-0 up before they scored their first goal. Spurs in itself are a pathetic team. Bloody, they draw against Fulham, they lose against Ipswich or Southampton, and they bloody bash us. Spurs is Spurs. What an idiotic thing. So before Feyenoord, all of the games, the performance was good attacking wise, and it was okay. I mean, but Feyenoord Sarah, I mean, everything's gone. All the limits were crossed against Feyenoord. I'm like, done, man. This season, there are some absolute cracks that have appeared this season, to be honest. This is, I mean, I mean, 2021 in that treble winning season when we were hit with all of the court cases and stuff, right? second half of the season when Cancelo left and all of that. When still that's 8 points behind Arsenal, still I believe, still we believe we could do it. But somehow this season it feels different. Somehow this season that belief is not there, that optimism is not there, that little flicker of hope, whatever was there, it died out against Feyenoord. Bayaji says, Gautam says, Ake really did well. I think Ake was fantastic. Ake was fantastic. I think what he can do is he can probably put Josko Guardiol in place of Nathan, in place of Kyle Walker. I think you can actually do this. Josko Guardiol in place of Manuel Akanji, and then Manuel Akanji in place of Kyle Walker. I think that could be a super defense. Ake, Guardiol, Diaz, and Akanji. Because Stones is the real name of Stones is not Stones. It's Saint Gobain glass. It's glass sponsored by Saint Gobain. Truly reflective. That is what Stones is. Is more brittle than is more brittle than whatever you could even imagine. That's how bad he is. Bayaji says, what Pep and Lilo discussing at halftime? Pogo Network. Bayaji, they were discussing the menu at halftime. The menu. Pep was asking why is baked beans not there. Yuan Malilo was telling, but you like it fried. You like it fried, Pep. Why do you like baked beans? That's what they were discussing. Pep was telling, what the club cannot even give me baked beans. What is it? That is what Pep and Lilo were discussing. I absolutely have no idea what Pep and Lilo were talking to each other. Bayaji says Gundo's DM's days are way behind him. Walker Akanji shambolic and Nunez can't keep ball for more than 2 seconds. Bayaji, you just imagine you go up against Trent Alexander Arnold. You go up against Trent Arnold 3-4 times, and every time Trent Arnold in one on one, he comes out on top against you. Even Raheem Sterling has roasted Trent Alexander Arnold. Matthews Nunez, and what is Erling Haaland's the first touch as well? It has let us down. This is a game for Jeremy Doku. This is a game for Savinho, and he doesn't play both of them. When will Pep drop? What worse can happen if Jacob Wright or O'Reilly? What is the worst thing that can happen, guys? Tell me if Jacob Wright or O'Reilly starts in place of Ilkay Gundogan. Look at Gakpo and Walker there for the first goal. Gakpo, Walker, Gakpo, Walker. And then Gakpo goes ahead of Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker's ball watching done. Blatantly, this is on Kyle Walker. How many points has Kyle Walker made us drop? Just count, guys. Just count. Against Arsenal, 2 points gone. Kyle Walker gave both of the goals when we were playing in rhythm. Against Bournemouth, 3 points. Here, potentially 3 points. So 3, 6, 8. Then against Spurs as well, Kyle Walker was. And I think Kyle Walker has made us drop what 11 points this season. And what is the gap between us and Liverpool? 8 points. I think if Kyle Walker doesn't play and good fullback plays, even if I take half of those 11 points, which we get, round about 6 points, still we are just 2 points behind Liverpool, and we're very much in the title race. Our entire season is defined by Pep Guardiola's stubbornness to sell Kyle Walker, and our entire season has been dictated by Kyle Walker's stubbornness to take things for granted. Kyle Walker's now in a mode like I've tackled Vinicius Junior, Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry, and everyone. What the hell have I got to prove? I think it's a job as a manager to see which of the guys are going into that mentality and get them out. Bring competition. Competition is to keep them on toes. Let us imagine if someone like a Frimpong would have come, Kyle Walker would have been sent on loan by now. He would have been prepared to be sent on loan. His performances are so pathetic. I don't know how we can sell Jan Kudo to Borussia Dortmund when you know that Rico Luz is not a fullback. Kyle Walker's an aging fullback who's lost his mind. You have no fullbacks and you've profited £30 million on Jan Kuto, who was one of the best fullbacks at Girona. I just cannot understand this. I absolutely cannot understand this the mentality of of Pep Guardiola and Kyle Walker, and this is not on Kyle Walker, this is on Pep Guardiola. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if one of your players is broken, if one of your players is not pulling in his weight to play for the team, it's your fault. Ultimately, it's your team, Pep. You're the boss, and a lot of our fans from the two transfer windows, we have discussed here a lot of times. It's time for us to refresh our midfield. It's time for us to bring a backup to Rodri. For 2 bloody years, all of us have been fucking crying over it. Replace, please, back up for Rodri. Please, back up for Kyle Walker. Please, please, please. Please, a left back. Please, someone for John Stones. Please, another midfielder. And what has happened now? Bloody tell you and Malilo. You know what they were discussing? They were discussing Papa's telling I'll play CDM and he's telling you and Malilo to play attacking midfield. That is a pathetic thing that they were discussing. Gautam says it's not about success, it's more about we have not been brave enough, too much thinking going on in the mind. That is what scares, that is what, it doesn't scare me, but that is what disappoints me, Gautam. Not for once, I think, and I'm sure not for once you guys think, that every season we'll have to win the title. No, I do not think that's our mindset. But what's our mindset is every season we have to fight till the end. We go down fighting. 6 seasons, if we go down fighting 6 seasons till the last day without any title, that's still fine for fans. What fans want to see is the fight, the desire that you care, the desire that you, the desire that you're passionate for the club as much as us. It's not just the fans that going through the stadiums. They go on a Tuesday night when they work Wednesday morning. Us watching here, waking up at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning when you bloody to work next day morning, messing up our sleep cycles. They have to do it for us. I don't care whatever is the personal agenda. That's what I'm not liking. They don't care. They don't care about us fans. Bloody, we are waking in the sleeping hours and watching them and supporting them in whatever way we can, and then they give us this shit. Why were we up at 3 o'clock in the morning watching that shit against Feyenoord? What the hell was that? I think that is a major problem. It's the passion and the desire. That's the thing, Gautam. I agree with you. It's not about success, but it's about the passion and desire that they show, which they're not showing, and they just absolutely do not care. That is the painful thing for me. Because when I'm watching you with love, with passion, absolutely adore you, I'm absolutely in love with seeing this team play. When you don't care about me, how's that? Relationship is always 2 ways, right? When you don't care about me, what's that? All we ask is you care. By just says 10 men Fulham drew Spurs and Southampton drew Brighton. It shows how bad City are playing. Ipswich defeated Spurs. If I'm not wrong, Ipswich or Southampton defeated Spurs by Ajit. And also I think Brighton lost against another small team. Now Crystal Palace, the bad Crystal Palace do against Newcastle. What did we do? When we had Newcastle for the taking long back, we didn't take it. For me, this season is not about you finish in the top 4, you finish 10, you finish 15. For me, this season is the desire and the courage you show from now till the end of the season. The desire you play for the fans if you don't play for ourselves. And bloody drop Walker and Nunez. But just is repeating same midfield that conceded 4 versus Spurs is plain idiotic. There are some things I just don't understand by Aji. Gundogan at CDM. Bernardo Silva always starting. Rico Lewis at right back. Okay, I can even understand Rico Lewis at right back. But Manuel Akanji at centre back. Especially these two, Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan. I mean, what worse will it be? What worse will it be if you play Jaco Bright or Nico O'Reilly in a CDM position? What worse could it be than now? He will at least not be overrun like that, right? And you maybe play someone like a James McAtee or someone in the midfield. What worse will it be, right? What can be more worse than three conceding 3 goals against Feyenoord? No, it can't be more worse than that. I mean, Nico O'Reilly and Jacob Wright when Nico O'Reilly played against Spurs in the Carabao Cup. By the way, Spurs played the first team in the Carabao Cup, and he was much much better than all of this midfield shit. He was better than even Kovacic this season. In that one match, Nico O'Reilly, that midfield position. I just don't understand these things from Pep, to be honest. Gautam says, I didn't see KDB playing again next season. We need to move ahead. I don't see KDB playing again next season. We need to move ahead. If he can't play important matches, then what's the point? That the point is, Gautam, exactly, you put it right. If for every minor injury, if Kevin De Bruyne wants to take 2 months off, 3 months off, then it's not serving anyone's interest, right? It's just occupying a space on that bench. I mean, just imagine if instead of KDB we had a Julian Wirtz or a Musiala or a Xavi Simmons or whoever on the bench. How different it would have been. Because it's not just KDB you're losing in that midfield. It's not just his creativity. KDB is a physical specimen. You'll have to understand that KDB. I mean, a lot of people don't see this, but KDB's physical impact on that midfield as well. KDB is not short and stuff. He's well built. KDB's physical impact in winning those second balls. Even that will be lacking. Now who do you have in the midfield? Gundogan, Ford, and Bernardo Silva. Just imagine a launch a long ball into that midfield. Who's gonna win that? Ford and Bernardo Silva, Gundogan against Gravenberg, McAllister, Curtis Jones, Cody Gakpo when is dropping in. All of them are 6'2", 6'3". Just by looking at the physical profile of the players, you can say that you're not winning any second balls. When you're not winning any second balls, how do you expect to, get attacks going? That midfield in itself is a problem. The personnel in it are a problem because you see from 2016 till now, who has Pep had in his midfield? Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, two big tall physical specimens, especially Fernandinho. They're winning the second balls, and then comes Rodri, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Kevin De Bruyne again, physically imposing. So every time in the 6 years, in these 8 years, Pep's been with us. Pep's always had a midfielder who's capable of winning the second ball duels, but now is not. Gotham says next season a lot of players will be packing their bags and moving. If they don't move, it's a big problem for us, Gotham. By Jesus, ever since Pepe arrived, half of goals City have conceded versus Pool have been because of Walker's bad positioning, even during his peak days. Even not just against Liverpool, even against Arsenal in big matches, it's been because of Walker's bad positioning. That's all. And I think I'm surprised that how Walker did not have bad positioning in those semi-final legs against Vinicius Junior. I think that was the only games. They were the only two games where Walker was fantastic. Other than that, Walker's positioning is generally not there. I think it's just that when you have so much pace, you don't need to focus on positioning as well. I think from your younger days and you're inevitably not used to that. Look at that, Liverpool playing 1-2s around a midfield. Bayer says Stones again injured. Time to sell him. No point carrying walking a glass figure. Bayer Stones is sponsored by Saint Gobain. Stones his name should have been Glass, sponsored by Saint Gobain. I think we have trusted a lot on Stones. How much time have we invested on Stones? Great by Manuela Kenji. There, how many times have been? How much money we have invested? Not money, the time. The time is more important. Almost, it's been 8 years, right? 7 years, right? 7 years we have invested on John Stones. If I'm not wrong, we bought him in 2016, 17. That season, maybe before that. So roughly 8 years, 7, 8 years on John Stones. And he's given us one good season, the Champions League winning season, the treble winning season. Maybe the investment was not futile because what Stones actually did, it revolutionized football. Kevin De Bruyne are there warming up. Rico Lewis. Lewis has been okay. I think Rico Lewis has been okay in all of his performances. It's not been that bad. It's not been that good. Just want us to score a goal. I mean, it doesn't matter the result, but a goal at Anfield will give you so much confidence, especially against this Liverpool team. To be honest, Kyle Walker again a long ball. I don't know. Walker on the ball is absolutely pathetic. And by Ajay, you have actually failed to mention you're told half of the goals have been conceded against Pool due to Walker's bad positioning, and and other half of our attacks have been derailed due to Kyle Walker's absolutely shit, pathetic nature on the ball. To be honest, Phil Foden, there's a lot of space for Rico Lewis. The space is covered there. Manuel Akanji. You need a Jeremy Doku. You need a Savinho for this game. To be honest, Matthews Nunez. Bernardo Silva. That's a corner for us. Get ready for a counter attack from Liverpool. That's a bloody corner for us. I'll just bring the charger now. Just give me a second. That is a wonderful tackle there from Ruben Diaz. That is a wonderful tackle there from Ruben Diaz, to be honest. One on one, Cody Gakpo, and that's a corner. Just remove bloody Kyle Walker, that's the thing. Diaz been excellent, Take has been excellent. Maybe I think Guardiola, I think Simpson Posey for Akanji would also be good. It's a corner again. It's an in swinging corner from Trent Alexander Arnold. Again, Van Dijk. How many times does Van Dijk get into the ball, and why is he getting to the ball so many times? How many chances for Van Dijk? There again. Gabriel would have scored a hat trick. Again, Van Dijk. Why are we not marking him? He'll inevitably score. We are so pathetic. Why are we bloody not marking him? Just score a goal. That's what I want for the confidence of this team. Bloody score a goal. What a ball that is, Kyle Walker. And the ball across is absolutely pathetic. Look at Kyle Walker there, guys. Look at the ball across from Kyle Walker. Just imagine a Jeremy Frimpong in there. That's a corner for City. Every time we get a corner, I'm afraid that they will score. And every time they get a corner, I'm afraid that they will score. What the hell is this, guys? What the hell is this? If it's heads, I'm screwed. If it's tails, also I'm screwed. Then what will be the result of a toss coin? I just don't understand. What the hell is this? Their corner, I'm afraid. My corner also, I'm afraid. Look at that. We've almost conceded a counter attack there. Phil Foden. It's a goal kick. Look at Pep Guardiola there. City's possession percentage in the second half is 74%, but that makes Liverpool even more dangerous. At least in the possession, though, I mean, this is so pathetic. If they have Gautam says, wish we were better in corners. The only way we can score goals in this match. Gautam, regarding corners, I mean, yesterday I was watching Arsenal West Ham, and especially I think Arsenal's first goal, I think it was where Gabriel scores a header. I think if you actually watch that back, I think you can look at the delivery from Saka is just world class. It is almost like, Jasprit Bumrah, peak Jasprit Bumrah bowling, outswing. That's how much the ball swung out. So the Jasprit Bumrah's in swing, that was how much the ball swung in, to be honest. And here I'm observing Van Dijk having so many chances. And who are the takers? Trent, Saka, they are some of the best takers in world football, to be honest. Rico Lewis, I think it's a goal kick, but this attack is good. Bernardo Silva dribbling through the entire Liverpool team. That is absolutely superb from Bernardo Silva there. He's showing splashes of his peak years, to be honest. The first touch just took it away. So Gautam, I think I just think it's on the takers. I think because you look at Arsenal, I think I can only see Gabriel being a very good header. There aren't other good headers in Arsenal's team. Saliba, Timber, Califiori, Kiwi. They're not as good headers, to be honest. And it's done. The game's done. The game's not done. The game's not done. Salah plus one over. Salah had the bloody goal at his mercy, and Salah blast one over. Salah has given us a reprieve. What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts when Salah went through like that? What were your thoughts? It didn't miss by much. Wow. What were your thoughts when Salah did that? Wow. I'm like, I mean, he could have easily squared it to Gakpo, I think, but he decides not to. Rico Lewis, Kyle Walker. Can we score a goal? Again! What is this suicidal football we are playing? What is it, Gautam? What the hell is happening again? One Salah miss is not enough. These people want to do it again and again and again. What the hell are we doing here? What the hell is this? Look at it. Pep is having a final throw of the dice now. This is a final throw of the dice. It's Savinho for Matthews Nunez, and it is hairband Jeremy Doku. It is hairband Jeremy Doku. Interesting. Gundogan's going. It's interesting. Hairband Jeremy Doku. Look at that. Jeremy Doku with his hairband. For a moment, I thought, why is Maduiki playing at City? When has Maduiki come to City? Interesting. Gundogan Nunez gone. Doku's coming. which means the midfield is Bernardo, Rico Lewis, and Gundogan. Sorry, Bernardo, Rico Lewis, and Foden. Interesting. Now, does that mean that is Bernardo Silva holding? Now, does that mean Bernardo Silva is holding? I don't know. And also, Gautam, there was a header from Van Dijk in the first half, if you see, which hit the bar. They showed it on the replay again at halftime. So Ortega's had a fingertip touch on it. It's a save from Ortega. It's not Van Dijk hitting the post. So Ortega has done whatever he obviously can. Look at Jeremy Doku there again. Ruben Diaz, Jeremy Doku there again. Jeremy Doku looks very sharp. Savinho looks sharp. It's a free kick for City. I think that Ortega is a better one-on-one keeper than Edison. Phil Foden's done extremely well there. Erling Haaland took that ball away, and this is excellent work there from Natanake. He's been beautiful, Natanake. Jeremy Doku. That's a throw in for Liverpool. Look at Diaz, they're controlling the defense. I think, okay, Salah's gone away, he's missed a one on one, but in general, I think the organization of the defense has been better, has been much, much better. I mean, what can you expect when the midfield is non existent? Diaz is going doing this much, that is absolutely superb. What is your midfield, to be honest? Savinho not even getting a touch. Kyle Walker's done well there. Kyle Walker's done absolutely well there. There's no midfield. That's the bloody problem. You look at how much space Liverpool midfielders are having to turn. To be honest, Diaz does absolutely well. It's a goal kick for City. The midfield is non-existent, Gautam. The midfield's non-existent. You look at it. I mean, despite so many chances for Liverpool, I'm still saying it's a good defensive performance because who's your midfield? An aging Gundogan, 35 years, Bernardo Silva, who's on fumes, who cannot run, and then you have a 20-year-old Rico Lewis who's not even a midfielder. Almost a fantastic ball to find Erling Haaland over there from Stefan Ortega. That is wonderful from Stefan Ortega there. And then right now you look at who the midfield is. Bernardo Silva. Again, he is not a CDM. And Phil Foden, who doesn't offer any defensive cover. Enrico Lewis again. I mean, there's no CDM in there. In the profiles of the players I've told you before substitutions and after substitutions. Is there a CDM in there? There's absolutely no CDM in there, to be honest. Akanji, Rico Lewis. 4v4 at the back, 4v4 at the back. That's a lack of not having a CDM. That's a lack of not having a CDM, guys. I think this entire game is due to not having a CDM. There you can inevitably see there's no defensive minded midfielder there. There's absolutely no defensive minded midfielder there. There's no physical CDM. Gautam says so many mistakes in the midfield. Gautam, where is the midfield, Gautam? I'm not able to see it. Can you see it? There's no midfield. Bernardo Silva, Rico Lewis, Phil Foden. If I mention these three players to you, you will say that I think one of those two can start. Maybe two of them can start. What if if I tell you that the three of them in the same midfield, you'll be laughing at me for the entire month. You'll be laughing at me for the entire month. Rico Lewis, Bernardo Silva, and Phil Foden playing in the same midfield. None of them have any defensive sense, right? None of them have any defensive sense. That is the big problem. Doku does very well there. Doku does absolutely brilliantly, but Gravenberg gets there. Rico Lewis does very well again. Jeremy Doku on the ball. Trent, he has to beat Trent Arnold. That's a throw in for City. Gautam says there is no explanation for this. The only possibility can be that community shield curse. Absolutely, Gautam. And fine wood 3-0 up in 15 minutes. You know what exactly I thought? At 75th minute, I was thinking that Feyenoord game that after a long time I'll watch the PSG Bayern highlights. I'll watch Real Madrid also lost that day. I think I'll watch the Real Madrid Liverpool highlights and City Feyenoord highlights and sleep peacefully and wake up next day in good spirits. And these fuckers go and do that 3-3. My instant reaction was, as we considered the third goal in the final game on the stream, sack everybody. Of course, that was just emotional, but the emotions went too high. Manuel Akanji, Manu! City are putting everything on the line. That's offside. Gautam, what was the defensive? That was an excellent defensive block, right? What a defending that is. I think he was anyway offside, but no one knew at that point. But that is fantastic. I don't know, it was a Fortega or it was a Ruben Diaz or it was a Nathan Ake. The spirits in the defense is surely up. The spirit in the defense is surely up, to be honest. This is excellent defending. If only Walker was good. If only Walker was good. I mean, it would have still have been a nil-nil, to be honest. Yes, Salah had that chance, but anyways, the spirit in our defense is very, very good. And also, Gautam, both those players who have helped us win that community shield have turned to shit. Oscar Pop injury, that too in training, and and Bernardo Silva is done. Gautam says, I don't know, I should be happy, ashamed, optimistic, confused. I mean, I think you can use all of those emotions at particular times. I'll be ashamed on Kyle Walker's performance. Akanji has done better this half, but Walker's been pathetic in this half again. I'll be ashamed of Kyle Walker's performance. I'll be optimistic seeing Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake play the way they have played, and I'll be very happy, and I'm very happy seeing the spirit in our defense where we're blocking everything, we're putting all our bodies on the line, a lot of those things. And I'm optimistic just purely because, and I'm optimistic because of the defense and that we will sign a midfielder in January. I think Hugo Viana's I think Hugo Viana already at this point should have a mail in his email account. Your tickets to Spain are ready. Negotiate a deal for Zubimendi. That is wonderful skill from Jeremy Doku there. That is absolutely wonderful from Jeremy Doku. I think it can we somehow draw this game. That is the only. He's offside. I think he's offside. Surely Gakpo is offside. Can we score a goal? Can we score a goal? That is the biggest question now. Because I'm just happy about we are not battered in this encounter defensively. I couldn't have asked a better performance from them. I mean the problem has been the midfield. I think Gautam, Ake and Diaz have been fantastic. Walker, we know he's Walker. But then I think without a midfield, I just do not know how much can you expect your defense to work. I think that is another question we'll have to ask because right now the midfield is non-existent. I mean, how many defensive-minded players are there in the midfield? None. I think none. You could say Gundogan, but at this age, Gundogan is more of an attacking midfielder than anything else. Bernardo Silva, Nathan Ake. Jeremy Doku's been very, very good. That's another positive, I think, in this game. He looks fresh after injury. He absolutely looks fresh after injury, but the midfield is a concern. The midfield is a concern. Even when you look at how we lost against Feyenoord, City pushed up. Why did we push up? Because there's no midfield there. So your defense is compensating for your midfield. The midfield is a big question. Midfield is the big question. The more I think about it, the more think about it. That's an excellent switch. Savinho there, and this half you've been better. I think. I think there has to be a late runner inside the box. There has to be a late runner inside the box because they're man marking. Erling Haaland touch tight. Nathan Ake. Jeremy Doku. Again, Doku's done absolutely well. I think he should have dribbled with the ball a bit more. Jeremy Doku again. If only Doku had a final ball. Bernardo Silva. It's a free kick for Liverpool. Suddenly the game just seems so long, right? And Liverpool are making the substitutions. Gerald Kwanzaa is coming on. Gakpo's off. Kwanzaa is coming on. I think the first goal is a failure of Kyle Walker more than anything else. First goal is on Kyle Walker. So as a team, yes, Salah went through. There was that chance, Van Dijk had it, but as a team, I think the defense was actually very good. Trent goes away, Gakpo goes away, Kwanzaa comes on. Gautam says Liverpool are yet to score a goal in the last 15 minutes in the last 15 matches under Slot. If only Gautam we had Johnny Stones in this match. If we had Johnny Stones in this match. Oh, okay, okay. Gautam says conceded. Ha. You just fill you just fill me with a bit of hope. And then no, and then taken away that hope from me. We could be that. We could be that. We could be the one to break that record as well, right? Just never know. It's a throw into Liverpool. By the way, Jeremy Doku's borrowed headband from Madueke is looking very, very good. That's again good positioning from Rico Lewis. Bernardo Silva just cleared it away. Gautam says, come on, City can't lose a match on the first day of December. And this is not even the hurtful one, Gautam. I don't know if you remember, I think 2 years back or something, 2 years back it was, I think, Frank Lampard's Everton. We had 32 shots that day. Everton had one shot. Demari Gray was playing there. Demari Gray goes on and scores in the 80th minute or something, and then we tied 1-1, and that was on 31st of December. Match ended at 11:30, 31st of December. 1st January was completely ruined due to that. So I think, in contrast to that, on 1st December is much, much better, right? It's much, much better on 1st December. The referee says it's a penalty. Offside. I don't know what Ruben Diaz was doing with that. Just don't know what Ruben Diaz was doing with that. I don't know what the hell happened there. I don't know what Ruben Diaz was doing there. Look at Pep. I absolutely don't know what Ruben Diaz was doing there, Gatam. What was Ruben Diaz doing there? A simple ball clearance, and he doesn't do it. And then look what Walker does. Why can't he stand on his feet? Mo Salah there. I think the last time Salah missed a penalty was against Real Madrid, but look at Mo Salah there. It's a penalty for Liverpool. And Salah scores. Salah scores. Vishal says, well, I mean, Vishal, it's a bad result for you as well, I think. See, we are 11 points behind Liverpool, but Arsenal is 9 points behind Liverpool. We are having the worst season of a decade. From 2016, you could count it as a decade for us. We are having the worst season, and still we are just 2 points of the second team in the league. So I think this was the result which Arsenal fans wanted, because if not City, then where is Liverpool gonna drop points? Where is Liverpool gonna drop points again? Vishal says terrible for us, can't count on City to do a job. But Vishal, you see Liverpool's next fixtures. Which team in Europe right now can you count to do a job on Liverpool? Tell me one team. Madrid couldn't do it. I don't think Barcelona are in the form to do it. Bayern Munich cannot obviously do it. They cannot beat a pathetic PSG. In the Premier League, which team can do it? I think Liverpool played against all of the teams, and against Arsenal they have drawn actually. But other than that, and they've drawn at your home, and you have to go to Anfield again. So Savinho, Doku, great ball again. Ah, pace. Vishal says Forest did it, but Vishal, you look at the circumstances there. Liverpool had a lot of shots, they just missed it, and also what happened was before Forest international break, and then the Forest game happened. Slot played a lot of players who travelled. So after that, if you see in the second international break or third international break, if you see Slot did not repeat that mistake. So with Forest, it was the international break one, to be honest. So uh, that was the thing, to be honest. But still young in the season, early on in the season, because we'll have to remember that 2011 United were, I think, at least 9, 10 points, 8 points. 2011-12 season, United were 8 points ahead of us, and we won the league from there. In April, United were 8 points ahead of us in April, with 6 matches to go, and still we won the league from there. Liverpool were 10 points ahead of us. Sorry, Liverpool were what? 7 points or 8 points ahead of us in 2018-19 season. In January, they were 8 points ahead of us, and we won the league from there. So I think for all the title contenders, I think, especially Arsenal, I think still there is hope, to be honest. Jack Grealish, Jeremy Doku, can we score one? Savinho there to Jeremy Doku. But yeah, I think actually Arsenal are also playing well now. So I think this could be a good race in Arsenal and Liverpool, maybe. I generally don't count us out, but there's no midfield here. What's the point in even? What the hell was that shot, Ruben? When you messed it up, imagine if it was 1-0 right now, there would still have been hope of a draw. Kyle Walker's again been pathetic, I think. Both the goals. Is there any surprise? Who's been involved? Both the goals. Kyle Bloody Walker. Kevin! What a chance that was. Kevin De Bruyne should have scored there. 2-1 and the match was on. De Bruyne should have scored there. 2-1 and the match was on. Haaland was free. What the hell is Kevin De Bruyne doing? Salah goes off. A goal, an assist, three bonus points. Whoever has him in fantasy would be making a bank right now. Great penalty by Salah again. Why is it that Kyle Walker's always involved in the opposition team conceding a goal? Jack Grealish. That's a foul on Kyle Walker and it's a free kick for City. Bernardo Silva. That's offside. De Bruyne has been pathetic as well since his come on. When De Bruyne should have scored that goal 2-1, it would have been a different game now. Who knows? Liverpool would have been, you know, a little bit of panic and 2-1 in the last 10 minutes. If you score a goal, inevitably you can score one more. Again, G. Ruben Diaz. The game can't end fast enough for us now, and Liverpool on another counter attack. Look at Kyle Walker's pace there. That is very well read by Nathan Ake. De Bruyne. Look at Pep Guardiola. They have no clue how he will try to solve. I think Pep will rebuild a new squad that can maybe go again. I think that's the thing, the rebuilding phase. New squad probably that can go again. City are appealing for a lot of offsides, but we're not getting it. And I know it's because of whom? It's because of Kyle Walker. The bloody guy does not know how to play offside. Gautam says, crowd chanting Pep, you'll be sacked in the morning. Gautam says, Pep showing them six titles. I think Pep Guardiola has won more titles than the last six Liverpool managers put together. In the last 30 years, 1990 to 2026, 25, let us count till the end of the season, how many Premier League titles have Liverpool won? How many Champions Leagues have Liverpool won? Perhaps even won, I think, equal Champions Leagues in this last 30 years than all of the Liverpool managers combined. Sack is not the question. The question is, how do you get out of this? That is the bloody question. How do you get out of this rut? I think. Honestly, because even if Pep doesn't win any titles in the next 4 years, there's no way he's sacked because he's built up so much credit in the bank. Six titles means you'll never be sacked in your lifetime. Six titles is what some clubs have won in their entire history. If you see, how many Premier League titles have Arsenal won, to be honest? Let us actually check this. Arsenal Premier League titles. Gautam says, I don't know why, but I want Chelsea to win this season so bad. Exactly, Gautam. I think we even agreed on this, right? Which team other than City you want to win a title? And I was like, Chelsea, of course, Chelsea. See the City or Chelsea, that's all. Bayaji says, I don't know by how many points City will be off. Come winter window. Recall Calvin Phillips from loan. Can't be worse than that. But Bayaji play Jacob Wright or Nico O'Reilly in the midfield. It can't be more worse than that. I think Calvin Phillips can be worse than that because Calvin Phillips is not able to get into the Ipswich team, if I'm not wrong. I think play Nico O'Reilly or Jacob Wright. I honestly think Bayaji, we will be within touching distance of the second. I don't know how many points will be off Liverpool to be honest, but I think, but if you look at it in the overall context, I do not think it's, yes, I mean we have been bad, but when you look at the other teams have not been brilliant either. I mean, you leave Liverpool and you suddenly have Arsenal just 2 points ahead of you. You have a Brighton who is 1 point ahead of you. Maybe he's offside. He's offside. It's surely offside. That's a great save there, but he's offside. Stephen Ortega is just saving so well. Baiji says Rico doesn't know what to do with possession. Why Pep hell bent on playing him in midfield? Baiji, the problem is simple. The problem is the midfield, I think. I mean, especially after this match, I've like come to 100% conclusion that the problem is midfield. You can blame the defense. Yes, Walker is to blame, but generally you can blame the defense and all. We can blame the defense and all, but what do you do if the opposition midfielders have so much space? Our midfield is non-existent. You look at it, Gravenberg and McAllister against Gundogan and Rico Lewis. What sort of a comparison is that? Gravenberg, McAllister against Gundogan, Rico Lewis. If Gundogan stands on the shoulders, that's a good ball. See, if Gundogan stands on the shoulders of Rico Lewis, I still don't. I think that is when he'll reach the height of McAllister. I think that's how bad we are physically in the midfield, if you see. So, how can you expect us to compete for the second balls? I think that is the biggest problem. So, suddenly, your midfield is outmuscled, your midfield is outrun. Gundogan ain't, is 35 years of age, is not close to that age, is not getting any younger, he hasn't got the legs in the midfield. Your midfield is physically weak, your midfield is more slow. If see if I keep three tortoises in the midfield and if I keep our players in the midfield, I think tortoises will cover more distance than our players. That's how weak we are. That's how slow we are in the midfield, and that's it. The match's over. Baij says Pep can't teach KDB how to score 1v1, no player to count on. Gautam says 13 game weeks, 11 points behind the top. I'm not as worried about the 11 points behind the top because it was April 2011-12. We were what 8 points behind United and we still won the league that season. 2018-19. If people remember, we were what 8 points, 8 9 points behind Liverpool. January the 2nd, still we won the league from that point. We were what 7 8 points behind Arsenal on February the 1st, and still we won the league from them. The problem is our performances. The problem is what is Pep gonna do in the midfield? That is the biggest problem. Why just at least it's not humiliating. I was expecting a nil 3 loss. The second goal should not have been conceded. What was Ruben Diaz doing? And by the way, the first goal was because of Kyle Walker. So without a midfield, this performance was actually good. This performance was actually good. We'll just switch to the player ratings. Just in a moment, we'll do the player ratings, and then yeah. Did you guys like it with Ederson or with Ortega? That's another interesting question because I thought we were much more secure with Stefan Ortega because we knew that each shot on goal would not go in unless it's perfect. I think Stefan Ortega is providing more cushion than Ederson, to be honest. I think against Feyenoord, I think we would have won that match if Ortega was not there. Let's actually switch to the let's actually switch to the ratings screen, to be honest, and here we are. But this is just 2 seasons back, City could field two top 11 and both would be in top 4. This small squad bullshit has cost us big time. By just 2 years back, our midfield was Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri. That was the first choice midfield, the best midfield in the world, no question about it. And who are the players competing for those slots? Bernardo, okay, he played on the wing, Bernardo, but let me count him in that midfield. This thing as an option. Bernardo Silva was an option. Phil Foden was an option there. I counted Kevin De Bruyne there. So seriously, I think we had almost six midfielders for those three positions. Literally. Am I missing out on someone? So literally Foden was there. Even Cole Palmer was there. 2 seasons back. 2 3 seasons back, Palmer was available to play there. So ideally, you had six midfielders for three positions. All of them were world class. And right and right now, zero midfielders for the six positions. They're showing the City fans there, but I think it's time to stay strong. It's time to understand what the problem is, to be honest, rather than be disappointed. Because what we must not lose track of is how many titles have. I mean, we. I mean, Pep has won as many Premier League titles, just the Premier League titles, as most other clubs have in their history. How many pure Premier League titles does Arsenal have? Pep has won more than them. Okay, the total titles which Arsenal have in their history is 13. Arsenal have 13 titles in their history, right? Counting the first division. Pep himself has six titles. Mancini won one. Pellegrini won one. I think eight titles. So Pep has half of the entire titles that Arsenal have won since football was born. Premier League, I mean, the league football was born in this country, in England, when I mean in this country. Pep has half of those titles in just under a decade. That's how good Pep has done. Pep has more titles than what all of the Liverpool managers have won since 1990. 30 years, 35 years, the amount of Premier League titles the Liverpool managers have won. Pep has similar amount of Premier League titles. Chelsea. See, Pep has literally equal. I think Chelsea in an entirety as a club have won two more Premier League titles than what Pep has done at City, six titles. So I think we cannot say sack Pep and all of those things. Gautam says Ortega much better. I felt comfortable with Ortega there. I felt secure. But this is Pep emulating Devendra Fadnavis. मेरा पानी उतारते देख किनारे पर घर मत बना लेना मैं समंदर हूँ लौट कर वापस आऊंगा बिलीव इन पेप वंडरफुल मेरा पानी उतार के देख मेरे पानी उतार के देख किनारे पर घर मत बना लेना मैं समंदर हूँ लौट कर वापस आऊंगा believe in Pep. They, they, they thought we were seeds. I mean, a thought that has come into my mind. They thought we were seeds and buried us. But little did they know that we just outgrew everyone. If not now, then eventually. Little did they know that we outgrew everyone. Do not dare to bury us. Do not dare to write us off ever, ever, ever again. Why this is warning signs were there last season when we were struggling to win against top teams, but I think that's what actually happens. I think by RG because last season we won the Premier League title. We should have been in the finals of the Champions League. It was De Bruyne missing an open goal, Foden missing an open goal. So a season where you just went out of the semi-finals in the Champions League because on penalties, which means it was a successful season. For me, reaching semi-finals of a Champions League is success. In that competition, we won the Premier League final of the FA Cup. TK Carabao Cup, you leave it. We in penalties we lost in semi-finals of the Champions League. See, when such a season happens, it just peppers over the cracks. For me, it's almost like I'm sure all of you watch IPL. In IPL, MI 2020 season, MI is said to be one of the best club teams to play that. One of the best club teams ever. And Mumbai Indians, after 2020, it's been what 4 years they've not won a single title. For 3 years running, this is the fourth season they've not won a single title. And the reason being, after that season, the next season was bad, but it peppered over a lot of cracks, and they just couldn't recover from that. So just think something similar has happened. The last season, due to success, sometimes success just peppers over a lot of cracks, and also I think on the flip side, Klopp's Liverpool were not as bad last season, and City were not as good as the season turned out to be. Eventually, we got the silverware, but that's another thing. Gautam says City has 10, City has 10, Arsenal has 13, Liverpool has 19, United has 20 PL titles. So that's the thing, Gautam. Arsenal has 13 and Pep has won half of the Premier League titles in under a decade than what Arsenal has done in 200 years, roughly 150 years, right? Whatever since football started. So you can see the magnanimity, you can see the humongous thing of what Pep has done here. Six titles is not a joke. So you six titles is not, it's not give £1 billion, spend Arteta 800 million pounds. 7 years running. It will be sixth year at the end of the season. अपना बाल भी उखाड़ नहीं पाया. He couldn't even, nothing. Could do nothing. Six titles is not a joke. £800 million. Chelsea £1 billion, and they're as much away from the title as Brighton. Manchester United more than £1 billion. 1.5 decade later, they're as much away from the title as an Ipswich Town, who have just come into the Premier League right now. So I think that is the humongous nature of what Pep Guardiola has done. We can be critical of the team. We should be critical of the team because at the end of the day, we love them, we support them, we admire them, we expect them to care about us, if not about anyone else, to be honest. So we can be critical of them, but I've seen in social media as well a lot of people telling Pep out and all of that stuff, and I'm like, dude, has won you six Premier League titles, which is half of what clubs have won in their history. Baiji says this drop off and injuries have come at a really bad time when we can't do anything in market either. But I hope Pep or Tixiki has recognized the target players. Edison and Zubimendi, it seems are the target, and we are getting Claudio Echeverri as well. I think people say, are you dependent on a single player? And I think the answer sometimes is yes in football, because Arsenal, without Odegaard, with Odegaard, how have Arsenal been? Superb, right, with Odegaard. Without Odegaard, Arsenal lost all of those. If Odegaard was not injured, you look at where Arsenal would have been. City without Rodri. Liverpool, if you remember, I think it was the 21-22 season, I think, if I'm not wrong. Pickford went in with a challenge on Van Dijk ACL, and the entire season was gone. So yes, I think if important players are injured, Van Dijk is the important one for Liverpool, Rodri for us, Odegaard for Arsenal. You can maybe replace their skill sets. You can replace the skill sets. You cannot replace the influence of that player in the dressing room. You cannot replace the influence of the calming nature of that player, especially in on the field. You see Ruben Diaz, yes, you have conceded 2 goals, but the organization was different today. The organization was much better. Rodri in that midfield. Imagine against Brighton we win, against Spurs we win if Rodri was there. Against Bournemouth we win if Rodri was there, and suddenly the gap is non-existent. Suddenly the gap is nothing. So I think yes. A few people ask. I think a few people ask, well, you're a team dependent on one man, mate. It's not a team dependent on one man. It's a team dependent on that one personality, and it happens. It happens in all fields of work. It happens in all fields of work. Why did Apple go down when Steve Jobs was removed from the company, and another CEO came in? Was Apple just a one-man show? Why was it so dependent on Steve Jobs? Why was Nokia dependent on just one CEO? It happens in all fields, be it sport, be it business, everywhere. And I just cannot understand people telling, it can't be a one man show. It is if that one man is pivotal to how you play. Well, anyway, let us get on to the ratings. To be honest, we'll take Avay's comments before that. Avay says, I don't think we played that bad today, bro. Everyone thought we would get smoked. Everyone thought we would have lost 6-0, 7-0, etc. Individual errors caused for that. And Pep bringing on KDB and Grealish on 2-0 down. Those are the negatives for me today. But always, De Bruyne one-on-one, he could not lift it over the keeper. He could not score. That was even bad, to be honest. Away says can't be playing Lewis. can't be playing Luis Gundogan in the midfield. That the midfield was absent. Midfield, you send the entire midfield on vacation. For me, I'm telling play Jacob Wright, Nico O'Reilly, and James McAtee in the midfield, or Jacob Wright, Nico O'Reilly, and Phil Foden in the midfield. We cannot do worse than this. Play an experienced defense, play an experienced attack. Savinho for Haaland and Doku or Grealish or whoever, and play youngsters in midfield. Baiji says, why not? Remember how Poole struggled in 2020-21 season and VVD was out for a long time. Exactly, Bayaji. Exactly. But a lot of opposition fans, especially, they do not get this. They're like, how can you be dependent on one player? And also, imagine Rodri is out and Rodri's backup is, I mean, which world class player? We are talking here about the best player in world. We are talking here about the only player after 1990, after 3 decades to win the Ballon d'Or. Who we are missing? Look at how Madrid is struggling without Vinicius Junior. Look how Madrid struggled without Casemiro and stuff, and when he left them. If I remove Van Dijk from this team, Liverpool will struggle. What is their defense without Van Dijk? Tell me that. Trent cannot do a one-on-one. Robertson on the decline. Gomez, Kwanzaa. Trent is injured. Konate has mistakes in him. It's just that Van Dijk is keeping the calm. That's all. Cannot underestimate the influence of Van Dijk there. By just individual errors, clowning in our own half. Away says Nunes provides energy from the midfield. Let the natural wingers play on the wing, but Pep is Pep. He will not listen to that. We'll absolutely not listen to that. But let us discuss more about it in the ratings. First, I'll actually rate Stephen Ortega. Stephen Ortega for me was he's between average and great. I mean, that penalty was not his fault as well. I'll put Stephen Ortega as great today, to be honest, because that penalty was not his fault. That penalty was the fault of two absolute clowns, especially a one clown bigger than the other. But Stephen Ortega, for me, for the first time, I felt secure. I don't know how you guys felt, but for the first time with Stephen Ortega in goal, I felt that we will not be conceding from the first shot. I felt we have a keeper who will be saving one-on-ones. When Stefan Ortega is there, there's that feeling that even if we concede a goal, the shot has to be perfect. The shot has to be absolutely perfect. And I'm happy with that. If an attacker scores a perfect goal, happy with that. No goalkeeper will save that. But the way Ederson concedes goals, I mean, I'm now fed up of that. Enough of this distribution and shit, because Ortega is good in distribution. If you want a much better distributor, you might as well give the goalkeeping outfit to someone like Phil Ford, and he'll play goalkeeper there. I think Stefan Ortega for me was great. Baiji says Ortega saved us from Awese's first goal. He couldn't do nothing. Ortega, absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Ortega first goal was on Kyle Walker. I mean, far post. Ortega could not do anything. Baiji says Ortega saved us from humiliation. Reliable shot stopper, but does this mean Eddie leaving? It's fine, Bayaji. Eddie leaving is fine. I mean, Eddie leaving is fine. I think Eddie did whatever he can. I think the next evolution of what we play, I think it cannot be playing out with the goalkeeper. I think Ortega is decent enough, with the ball. He's in the top five goalkeepers in the league. Ortega is as good as Raya with the feet. Ortega is as good as Allison with the feet. Ortega is as good as who's that Flaken with the feet. Ortega is as good as the keepers are there. He's just not good as Edison with the feet, but that's fine. Van Dijk's header, I would say. Van Dijk's header. The way he saved Van Dijk's header, right? And it hit the bar. There was a fingertip on that. Darwin Nunes went through. He saved it. Okay, Nunez was offside, but Ortega did not know it. There was another block as well from Stefan Ortega. Ortega's been great. In fact, fuck, great. I'll put him in awesome. I'll put Stefan Ortega in awesome. That's how much I I literally, the performance from Stefan Ortega today has been superb. Zero errors, zero errors. Even in distribution, he was superb today. Zero errors. In fact, he saved us. And now you'll see the chasm, the gap between awesome and the other things. Aves's Walker not picking up his man. And the worst thing is, we'll discuss it when Walker comes, Aves. But this is how many times Walker has lost his player all his career, obnoxious. Let us come to Kyle Walker. I am ashamed to put Kyle Walker in piss poor. There needs to be another class. I think we discussed last time. Gutter pe fake though. Gutter में फेंक दो glass. Gutter पे फेंक दो rating. I think next time I'll actually bring that gutter पे फेंक दो, which will be more humiliating than piss poor. That is what Kyle Walker is. Kyle Walker doesn't even deserve to be on this rating chart. Cody Gakpo jogs beside Kyle Walker. Cody Gakpo jogs beside Kyle Walker. And Kyle Walker is just jogging, that's all. And Cody Gakpo makes a run. Kyle Walker does not even attempt it. He's busy watching the ball, or maybe he's busy watching something else, and A-rated stuff in the stands. Someone's maybe broadcasting that, I don't know. What was Kyle Walker even watching there? The entire defense was organized. Ortega was well positioned. The only way Gakpo could score was if Walker did not mark him, and that's what happened. Walker bloody did not mark him at all. Kyle Walker is done. Kyle Walker is done. I think all of you guys agree with me. Kyle Walker's career is over. Kyle Walker's done. Kyle Walker's done. I think sometimes when Pep Guardiola, when Pep Guardiola, it's from his Barcelona days. When Pep Guardiola lets go of a player, we are emotional as fans. We think the player should have been given much more time. The player should have been given much more time. And I think it's the first time in his career Pep Guardiola has become emotional. And look at what's happened. He's become emotional with Walker and Gundogan. I think when Gundo left after the treble winning season, I think that probably was the best farewell there. And Gundogan, after his Barcelona first season, where he was the almost the best player along with Jude Bellingham there, had the highest assists. He should have played a season in Barcelona, and after this season in Barcelona, he should have gone back to Turkey and just winded down his career there. That would have been such a fantastic way for Gundogan. And his comeback, emotional decision by Pep. When Gundo makes that call, Pep of 3-4 years back would not have let Gundo come in. Pep of 3-4 years back would have faced the wrath of fans. We would be telling, why didn't you let Gundogan come now? But Pep would not be emotional. I think Pep has become more emotional. Pep has become more attached to the club, which is good in a sense. But the only thing is, it's not helping us. Look at the kind of emotional connect he's having with players, and look at what's happening right now. And with respect to Kyle Walker Bayaji, it's not even Cody Gakpo's. He was not man marking Cody Gakpo well enough. He let Gakpo go in front of him. That did not even piss me off. You know what pissed me off was there was a great ball from Bernardo, I think, from the midfield, and Walker's made a fantastic run. Walker gets the ball, and what does Walker do? Walker could run into the space and he could cross. What does Walker do? He sends the ball back again. Another time, Walker just hits the leg of the defender. Is Walker thinking he's playing hockey? Does Walker wants to earn a penalty corner which they give in hockey when you hit the ball to the opponent's legs? Is that what Walker thinks? And also I think, especially with Walker, I think mindfulness in your personal space is very important, which means things being settled and good in your personal space is very important to focus well when you're in the professional space. I think with Kyle Walker, he's just played his cards too much in his personal space. His personal space is too much disturbed, and Kyle Walker's taken football for granted now. He thinks he has space, which means he thinks he'll get Superman powers and he can fly as well. And Walker's been shit. Just drop Kyle Walker. Just send him. And what I don't understand is Kyle Walker ke barose we have sold Jan Kuto for 30 million, and Jan Kuto had the fourth highest number of assists in La Liga. I might be wrong here and there, but fourth highest number of assists in La Liga, and he was the highest scoring defender in La Liga last season from open play, I think. And he was the highest chance creating defender from open play in La Liga last season. We sold him and we let Kyle Walker be there. Whereas it should have been the other way around. Sell Kyle Walker to Bayern Munich for 30 million and keep Jan Kuto here, which means you in any way would have earned 30 million. And at least with Jan Kuto and Jan Kuto making mistakes at right back, you know it's a young player, 20, 21 year old who's learning his trade. What are we getting with Kyle Walker making those mistakes? If a youngster makes a mistake, he will learn from it and grow. It's an advantage. But if Kyle Walker, whose career is done, is making mistakes, what else can we do with him? Anyway, let's get to Manuel Akanji, also below average. With his first half, I would put Manuel Akanji in the piss poor thing because Manuel Akanji was absolutely pathetic in the first half. He was don't know Walker or Akanji. I thought you should have just put him in that gutter class, gutter perfect though. But Manuel Akanji in the second half improved very well. He was more proactive. He got to balls. He won those second duels. He was coming into the midfield. I mean, he was timing his runs into the midfield a little bit more better. I think Akanji beside Ruben Diaz looks much more better than Akanji on his own. Akanji on his own is a disaster. Again, with Akanji, I think he still struggles a bit with decision making. Actually, Dortmund fans are confused at how did Akanji become so good. I think it's all with your defensive partner. I think Gabriel was always injury. Sorry, Gabriel was always error prone. We knew that, but with William Saliba beside him, he's doing so well. I think it depends on your partner as well. Lescott, Company, Diaz, Akanji, Laporte, Laporte, John Stones. I mean, I think the defensive partner is so important. Matip, Konate, all of them were so much injury prone, and Van Dijk beside him, and it's just something else. Bayaji says Akanji made careless passes in the first half. He just could not understand when to time the runs into his midfield. And also, Bayaji, I think when your midfield is absent, I mean, when you look at the guys who played in the midfield, I would say the midfield is absent, obviously. So when your midfield is absent, and you have a centre back running into the midfield, what does it leave? And then you have Luis Diaz and Salah making, and sorry, Gakpo and Salah making those inverted runs inside, especially Mo Salah out to in runs. It leaves a gap. Ruben Diaz isn't the fastest. So again, if the midfield is not doing anything, I think the first half had more to do with the midfield not being good enough. And also I think and also I think the first half, yes, Akanji made some careless passes, but if you look at the first 5 minutes, first 10 minutes, Akanji did not come into the midfield. The first 5 10 minutes. After that, Akanji came into the midfield and he was making those careless passes. The reason the first 10 minutes our midfield was being outmuscled by Liverpool. Well, bloody hell, I'll put Akanji in the average category to be honest because first half as well, not his mistakes. Now I'm just reviewing it. First, the midfield could not get hold of Liverpool's midfield, our midfield. So Akanji had to kind of sacrifice himself, I would say, and bring that physical presence into our midfield. That's why he went into the midfield, which left a lot of spaces behind. And Akanji is not the best in the midfield, but he was forced to. Second half he improved, but again, I think again, Wahiper, the midfield problem. It's the midfield, bloody midfield. I think with a decent midfield, we draw this game. I did not see Liverpool being Klopp's Liverpool, when Sané, Salah, Firmino, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, and when those guys, even Matip at centre back, when those guys would be playing, it would have been something else. I mean, it wasn't even Liverpool's best performance today. I mean, the next one is Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva for me again, piss poor Bernardo Silva. I don't care if Pep asked him to play in the midfield. If he played in the midfield, anything was. I mean, when you see Bernardo Silva losing possession of the ball, I don't care which where he loses it, except the penalty box, of course. If you see Bernardo Silva losing possession of the ball in the midfield in our defensive areas, that's an indication his time at City is up. His career at City is up. I'm sorry, he's touching 30. There's nothing else left for him to win here. I think his mind has now given up on the intensity that Pep is trying to instill in the players. Bernardo Silva is not just focused here. He's not just taking the instructions on board. I think with Bernardo Silva, I see a player with talents there. The legs are there, but it's just the mind is stagnated. With Bernardo Silva, I can see a player where the mind is stagnated, where it's like he has just lost the interest in carrying the ball and stuff. Piss poor Bernardo Silva, to be honest. I don't know what you guys think, Vaij. I don't know what you think, but for me, Bernardo Silva's piss poor, to be honest. Kevin De Bruyne. I know he played only 15 minutes, maybe a little less than that, but piss poor again, Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, it's enough for me to see you missing that one-on-one against the keeper and put you in this piss poor category. To be honest, no creativity again. Kevin De Bruyne, he's got a few chances to be on the ball. He did not attempt those creative passes. One on one, that was a weak finish. He was. I think Kevin De Bruyne's career at City has been done as well. There'll be a pattern developing when you look at the piss poor category. I think there will be a pattern developing for sure. By just as KDB missed easy chance, and also he did not creatively, he was useless in those 15 minutes. I mean, last season, Newcastle, you could ask me, how can you judge KDB in 15 minutes? Newcastle last season, KDB came on for 15 minutes, we were 2-1 down. KDB scores a goal. KDB provides that fantastic assist to Oscar Bob. And Gary Neville said on that day, maybe I think this could be a turning point for the title race. So that KDB in 5 minutes can turn a game on his head. That's what KDB is. He is the best attacker the world has. For me, he's the top five attacking midfielders the world has ever seen. He's the best attacking midfielder the Premier League has ever seen. Ahead of you, Dennis Bergkamp, Erin Cantona, Paul Scholes. You can name whoever you want. KDB is the best of the best. And in his off seasons, KDB gets 12, 13 assists. So that's how good KDB is, to be honest. But that's why I judge KDB on those standards, and such an easy finish for KDB. No creativity at all. Lost the ball once or twice. Absolutely no creativity. Nothing. Nothing for KDB. You'll see a pattern developing. And you guys will have to tell me what does that pattern mean in the piss poor category. There'll be a pattern developing. Ikai Gundogan. I can't help it. I love Gundo. We all love Gundo. Treble winning season captain. That FA Cup game scored two goals in that treble winning season. Scored a goal in 30 seconds. Is an absolute icon. But being an absolute icon in the past, it doesn't win you titles, right? It doesn't do anything good to you. Titles are won in the present. Performances are in the present. The past is beautiful to read. The past is beautiful to probably, you know, write an examination on and get a degree and stuff, but you don't win anything in the past. You win everything by being in the present and planning for the future. And for me, with Gundogan, I think we are still in the past. I like cassettes and vinyl records, but I cannot say that I'll still have a big tape recorder with the cassette there, and with that pencil I'll turn the tape around. Can't say that, right? And with Gundogan, it's almost that you're left with the old vinyl record and the old cassette. When the tape got stuck when we were young, uh, especially kids in the 90s and 90s, especially late 80s, 90s will relate to it. With the pencil, you're turning the tape and adjusting it. That's what Gundogan has become now, to be honest. Why this is goodbye to all PS4 players, but we'll get into that a little more. It's not that easy. It's not just goodbye, but Ilkay Gundogan out muzzled in the midfield there. His days as DM are gone. He just cannot hold the midfield on his own. I mean, again with Gundogan, are we putting too much blame on him because just a CDM? He's a CDM, and who he's up against? Gravenberg, McAllister, and who was the third one who was played there for Liverpool? I just cannot remember his name. But anyway, Gravenberg, McAllister. That's what he's up against there. both are so tall, both are so physical. How do you expect Gundo to win a second ball? It was simple for Liverpool. Blast a ball into the midfield. Gundogan, sorry, Gravenberg or McAllister will will, and Sabozlai is tall as well. He's a physical presence as well. So just blast a ball into the midfield. One of our players will win the second ball for sure, or the main ball for sure. Play Mohamed Salah in. If you have sent Liverpool team to me, I would have gotten them to beat City 4 final 6-0 easily, because the tactic is correct, is simple. Long ball into the midfield, off to Salah, goal. Simple long ball football would have had us thrashed. I think Sam Allardyce with his team will thrash us final 6-0, because long ball, win the second ball to the striker, goal. We do not have any answer to that. Can you guys tell me the answer to this? Long ball into the midfield, give it to the striker. The striker wins the second ball, goal. Can you tell me the answer to this simple tactical dilemma we have? How do you win those long balls into the midfield? That's why I put Akanji on average there. When Liverpool were trying to blast those long balls into the midfield, it was Akanji who was coming and covering for that. Otherwise, Salah, Gakpo, Diaz, whoever, they would have had free runs on goal for us. That's why I put Akanji there. मैंने gutter से अलग किया क्योंकि Akanji showed, you know, Akanji showed class. Akanji showed, the courage to at least do something for the team at his own expense. Bhai says, can we stop the rot now? और अभी तो और जलील होना बाकी है. But Bayaji, that's the thing. I mean, with possession, teams can cut through your midfield. But Bayaji, can you just think and tell me what can be the answer to this problem of opposition team from their goalkeeper or defense into our midfield and midfield to striker? Because we do not have any midfielders left who are capable of being physical enough and win the second balls. Simple tactical flaw. Teams will exploit it. You don't even need an analyst, I think, for this, to be honest. How do we address that tactical flaw? So I think शायद और जलील होना पड़ेगा, but I'm expecting Nottingham Forest will not be easy. Nottingham Forest are one of the worst teams to face now. It's in Nottingham Forest under Nuno Espirito Santos. They'll sit back. Aina will bomb on. Aina, for me, I thought could be a perfect replacement for Kyle Walker, to be honest, is so good. Aina will bomb on. Chris Wood, and then Chris Wood is 9 goals, Haaland on 12 goals. So you can see how well Forest are playing, fifth in the table. They have Anthony Elanga on one side. They have Aksan Adoy on one side, two pace merchants. And then in the midfield they have Morgan Gibbs White. Their DM is good. The defense is doing well. The goalkeeper is performing exceptionally well. I fear us against Nottingham Forest. I just can't understand where the rot will start. But as fans, we'll just we'll just have to believe. That's the only thing. We'll just have to believe. I actually think Phil Foden. I don't know what you guys think. Phil Foden. I would actually say Phil Foden was below average today. I mean, Phil Foden got into a few good positions, but Phil Foden lost the ball easily. It was not a piss poor performance in the sense that he got into good positions, but then there was no one around to pass the ball to, and he was crowded out. Phil Foden was crowded out. Why this is Issa Kabore having problems at Benfica? Why don't we call him back? Why this is 5-4-1 formation? That is interesting. We could do that by the 5-4-1 formation. Actually, 5-3-2 could be better by Aji. 5-3-2. Jitna kam, I mean, how much ever less we do the numbers in the midfield, that much better for us. We could do a 5-3-2 formation. You could actually do a 5-3-2 formation. Three members in the midfield, that's it. Two strikers. I mean, Mayaji, I don't know how much I'm feeling bad that we let Delap go to Ipswich. The guy's long shots are just out of this world. Delap to Ipswich. Issa Kabore, we had him in the preseason. We should have kept Issa Kabore as well. We let Jan Kuto go. And plans were on to sign a midfielder, and then Gundogan came back. But regardless, we should have signed a midfielder there. We should have signed a midfielder keeping Gundogan's age in mind, to be honest, regardless of what's happened to him. But 5-3-2 could be interesting. 3-5-2 could be interesting, which is in essentially a 5-3-2. But then who are your wing backs? Could be Guardiola and Walker, to be honest. Just don't know. That's a very interesting suggestion. It's a very interesting suggestion. So Phil Foden got into those positions, was eventually crowded out. This is what happens. See, your midfield is shit in defense, and then the only attacking player in your midfield with little bit of creativity is Phil Foden. He gets the ball, they surround him. He gets the ball, they bloody surround him. That's it. He gets the ball and they surround him. That's all. So actually nothing on Phil Foden as well. He actually got into good positions. He's for me somewhere between average and below average. But he got into positions, but then he couldn't do anything. Savinho again. I mean, there's not much to rate him based on. To be honest, Savinho didn't do anything bad, but then came on in the last 10-15 minutes to go. Would be unfair to compare him and rate him given the other players. I had to rate De Bruyne because of how horrendous has been in the 15 minutes. It potentially could have been 2-1 and who knows nerves and 2-2. But Jesus Foden was reluctant to shoot, trying to score the perfect goal. I think again, Bayaji, it's the lack of confidence. We know Foden is a confidence player, right? It's the lack of confidence again. And last season, when Haaland was injured, you've seen Rodri was there in our midfield. Sorry, when Kevin De Bruyne was injured, Rodri was there in our midfield. And Phil Foden played so freely. Phil Foden was scoring hat trick after hat trick, to be honest. Rodri, Bernardo, or Rodri, Rico Lewis, whoever it is. So yeah, Phil Foden was afraid to shoot. I actually think Phil Foden had an average game, to be honest. It would be unfair for him to put below average as well because again, not his problem, not his mistake. He was one of the few players who showed courage. Who showed courage to get on the ball in the midst of Liverpool's intense press. Liverpool's press was not working, by the way. It worked first 10 minutes, but it didn't. And one of the players responsible for Phil Foden, he had the courage to take the ball in Liverpool's press and bring the ball out of the press. Foden was very good. Foden was very good with that. And there's another player, to be honest, I would rate. Jeremy Doku for me was average today. Jeremy Doku for me was average today. Again with Jeremy Doku, I can easily put him in grade. Yeah, Bhaiji, what do you think of Jeremy Doku's contribution today? Because when Jeremy Doku came on, I think he just had the entire Liverpool's right hand side on toast. To be honest, Trent was clueless. I think Trent went by that time. I think Gomez was clueless, and I mean people on that side were actually. I think Gravenberg also came onto that side briefly. He was clueless. I mean people were clueless on that side. Doku did very well. His close control was exceptional. Again with Jeremy Doku, the thing is he's not the finished product yet. Jeremy Doku will be the finished product in an year or two. He's getting there, he's improved from last season, his close control, his decision making is improved. But I think when we were signing Doku, when we were signing Savinho, I think we knew the fact that they were not finished articles. They needed polishing. See, Jeremy Doku for me is like what Vinicius Jr. was when he came on at 19, 20 years. He was useless for 2 years, Vinicius Jr., and is the best winger in the world right now. Or rather, I would say Vinicius Jr. makes Kyle Walker look the best fullback in the world. I don't know what deal Walker has had with Vinicius Jr. But anyway, I think Doku's been good. The final end product was always the question. Just imagine if Doku gets the final end product, what he'll be. He'll be a beast. And it's not the case like Raheem Sterling for Jeremy Doku for me, because Jeremy Doku has that finish in him. Jeremy Doku has that assist cross in him. It's just that, he's inconsistent with that. He's inconsistent with that. I think he'll learn. I think with Doku we need to be a bit more patient. I think we have a gem on our hands. It's a similar thing as Savinho, though I'll not rate Savinho because a lot of stuff has not been uh, played. Baiji says Doku was brilliant, but where's the end product? Second season now, can't stay for either. I think I mean again look back to that Vinicius Junior case. Baiji, it took 2 seasons for Vinicius Junior to actually get into rhythm. I think we can give Jeremy Doku another season, to be honest. Because again, again, I mean, it's difficult to judge Jeremy Doku of this season, because this season there's no creativity from the midfield as well. I know it's the final ball, but then confidence plays a lot into the hands as well, right? And also with Jeremy Doku, one of the things is he picks the ball up, likes to cut inside and shoot. With us not having any midfielders, the midfield is useless. I'll use the term us not having any midfielders. With us not having any midfielders, Jeremy Doku is suddenly not having the space. See, three people are coming onto Jeremy Doku. Why? Because there's no runner from the midfield. The lack of midfield is hurting us defensively and offensively as well, to be honest. So I'll not judge our wingers based on, especially Jeremy Doku, especially the kind of player he is. I will judge Savio because Savio is a different kind of a player. He likes to stay wide, he can cross it from wide enough. Savio is different, but Doku, I think give one more season to Doku. I think I see potential in him. One more season to Doku, I think. But just can't stay fit either. I think our medical team will work on it. But with Jeremy Doku, maybe I think you can give him one more season and see and see where he goes. I think Ruben Diaz for me he was actually great until the mistake for the second goal. I think for that second goal, I'll actually put him in the average category, to be honest. Again, because I mean for that one mistake for the second goal in itself, you have to you could put Jeremy Doku in piss poor or even below average. But for me, overall, when due to Diaz coming in, I think his and this entire back line, has become very, very good. This entire back line has the organization was there, the leadership was there. Diaz brought in that passion. He was putting in the blocks. It was very, very good by Ruben Diaz, I would say. I don't know for the second goal what happened. He took an extra touch and stuff, and the piss poor gutter class Kyle Walker messed it up by just going down far too easily. But then it's just an average performance for Ruben Diaz. But overall, I think if we just remove that second goal, for me, Ruben Diaz was good. Ruben Diaz was fantastic as well. Bayer says Virgil van Dijk had three free headers. I think with the corners thing, I mean, I think it's a wholly different issue. I mean, against every team, when we concede a corner, either they score from a header or they have a counter attack. The corners are fundamentally broken. The corners are fundamentally broken. The corners is a different issue which we will discuss again. But the corners are fundamentally broken, and one of those headers was saved by Stephen Ortega. The corners are fundamentally broken. So I think we can chat about the corners. ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है कि we get a corner in the opposition, either score on a counter attack, or when the opposition gets a corner, they score from their header. I mean, किसी को corner मिले, I think it's we who are suffering. हेड से फिर भी हमारा बैंड बजेगा, टेल से फिर भी हमारा बैंड बजेगा. What the fuck is that? I just don't understand. So Ruben Diaz, if we remove that second goal, I think Ruben Diaz overall has actually been great for the game, just due to his leadership skills and all of that. Now Nathanake for me, I'll put Nathanake in the awesome this thing. Bayaji, your thoughts on Nathanake? Because I actually think Nathanake was magnificent against Mo Salah. Bayaji says, and that free kick by Hours in the first half. What the fuck was that? Pep was staring at stuff. Bayaji, I think corners, there are assistant managers to take care of. Free kicks and set pieces, there are assistant. We bloody have a set piece coach. So I think Pep Guardiola does not look into all of the aspects. Pep Guardiola looks into the tactical study, breakdown, and the major training part of it, I think. So I think we just cannot blame Pep Guardiola for everything. Especially, I think we need to fire the set piece coach. And where did our previous set piece coach go? To bloody Arsenal. And look at what Arsenal is doing. And the frustrating thing is, Arsenal just have bloody Gabriel. हमारे पास when everyone's fit, Ruben Diaz, Josko Guardiol, Rodri, Manuel Akanji, John Stones, Nathan Ake. Six power headers, and four of these are always playing. Erling Haaland, seven power headers, and five of these players play most of the time. Seven power headers, and five of these players play most of the time. And still, I'm having to see this shit on corners. Head fake or फिर भी opposition attack, tail fake or फिर भी opposition attack. What the fuck is the set piece coach doing? Who is the set piece coach? Who's been so pathetic? If I was Pep Guardiola, I would just go to the set piece coach and tear up his contract in front of him and splash it on his face. He deserves that. He deserves that. He's been so poor, set piece coach. We bloody have five players who are equal to Josko Guardiola, who are equal to Virgil van Dijk. We actually have seven players who are as good as Virgil van Dijk and Gabriel, and we end up with this shit on set pieces. By the way, Natanake against Mo Salah, Natanake was great again. Natanake was awesome, to be honest. Natanake was his one-on-one duels. Salah could not get anything of him. Natanake absolutely had Salah in his pocket. Okay, Salah found space, but that's due to other reasons. But Natanake one-on-one against Mo Salah, that's it. Natanake was just absolutely superb. And then who do we have left to rate? Erling Haaland. I think Erling Haaland for me was average, to be honest. I mean, I can put him in the great thing, but again, what great did he do and what poor did he do? Haaland came back, helped us out in his possession. Haaland had just one or two chances. One chance he took a heavy touch. No chances for Erling Haaland. In fact, I should not even rate Erling Haaland here, because what's the use of rating when your striker just has two touches? You cannot rate him for that. You absolutely cannot rate Erling Haaland for that. Normal average performance from Erling Haaland. Didn't do anything bad. Was always there. Was always running with a smile. Was putting a ship for the team. I just wonder if there's anyone who has passion left in this team. That is Erling Haaland, to be honest. Rico Lewis for me again. इस बार तो मैं below average डालूंगा Rico Lewis. Why just Haaland was below average. Early form is gone. Did he even take a shot? But Bayaji, the thing is, I could have put him in below average. But Bayaji, Haaland को chances कहाँ पे मिले? Who is there to create? Did a single cross go into the box? Did a single cross go into the box? Nothing, right? And also that's the thing, Bayaji. Haaland has to create his chances. That is true. When you have a normal midfield, अगर आपके पास midfield is not there, Haaland Haaland comes back, Haaland drops back, and is immediately surrounded by Gravenberg, McAllister, Gakpo, and to make matters worse, 20 is inverting into the midfield, Gakpo is dropping into the midfield. So suddenly हमारे पास पहले ही midfield नहीं है, and suddenly it's a 5v3 in the midfield. With even with Haaland dropping back, their outnumbering is 5v4, sometimes 6v4 with one of their other wingers as well dropping into the midfield. I think yes, Haaland can create his, has to create his chances, but that's a normal thing, normal setting. When your midfield is not there, I do not. I think even R9 and even Messi can create his own chances in this with this midfield. I think we must remember if even Messi needed a Xavi, a Iniesta, Busquets, when Ronaldo needed a Kaká, a Ozil, and all of that sort of players, and Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, whatever at United. So I think it's harsh to tell Erling Haaland to create his own chances, though he's done everything. You look at what Haaland did against Feyenoord. Haaland's form is there. It's just that you're not. It's just that we are not providing him with creativity. That's all. And the next is Matthews Nunes. Bloody hell. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold one-on-one. Char bar, and you cannot go past Trent Alexander-Arnold even once. Four times that you cannot go past Trent Alexander-Arnold even bloody once. What the hell is that, Matthews Nunes? What the hell is that? Wasted heavy touch. He was the one who had all the space. I was wondering in the first half if on the left flank we had Jeremy Doku or even a Savinho instead of Nunez. Doku instead of Nunez in that heavy space. Doku could have done much better. He could have pushed Liverpool's fullbacks back. One of the problems in the first half was Liverpool's midfielders were pushing high, the defense was pushing high, and our wingers were not able to, push their fullbacks back. That was another problem. Wingers were a problem in this game. I'm sorry. Both Matthews Nunez and Bernardo Silva, both were a problem. Both don't push the wingers high. Now you tell me the entire opposition team is pushing up. How do you expect our defenders to even defend? भाई says Nunez was disappointing. You're being very kind to Nunez भैया जी. इसको तो गटर पे फेंक देना चाहिए. Gutter class. इसका rating तो gutter class है. That's how bad Matthews Nunez was. To be honest. And there's one more as well. There's one more as well. Jack Grealish. I prefer not. I prefer not to rate him, but then I want to rate him. But he's not done much. But Jack Grealish is an interesting issue, and I'll not rate him here because he's just got 15, 12 minutes, and it will be very unfair for me to rate him based on what he did against Spurs. He started the counter, he finished the counter. So I actually think it would not be fair for me to rate Grealish on that. But Grealish for me, could we play Jack Grealish in midfield? Could he be an answer? Because Jack Grealish, he's a bit physical compared to Bernardo, Gundogan, and Rico Lewis. Jack Grealish is at least a bit more physical, to be honest. Counting assist, Nunez is an interesting issue. Never thought left wing is his natural position here. But that's what Pep does to you. I mean, Josko Guardiola in his entire career did not think that if left back is his natural position, and now he's one of the best left backs in the league. Defensively, he's having some issues, but that's due to the whole team. But generally, Guardiola has been superb, right? It's Pep who's got into that position. Matthews Nunez. I mean, the problem with Nunez in midfield is it's fine if you're playing midfield at Wolves and stuff because most of the time you just have to retain the ball and you have to pass it forward. But at City, you have to play in congested spaces, and you saw Nunez first touch. I just think Matthews Nunez does not have a good enough first touch to play, and then you could say, why did City buy him? It was a panic buy. From day one, we are agreeing on this community that Matthews Nunez was a panic buy because City wanted Lucas Paqueta. We did not get Lucas Paqueta due to those issues, betting issues, and stuff. And Matthews Nunez was a panic buy. And whenever we at City, whoever the manager is, whenever we go for panic buys, Wilfried beat Wilfried Boney 2015, where we donated. I'll use the term donation. Donated 60 million to Swansea, or beat Matthews Nunez right now, or beat Eliquim Mangala back then. I mean, whenever we did beat Fernando Rodriguez from Porto in 2014, I think Fernando Rodriguez was from Shakhtar. He was from Porto. Fernando Rodriguez. I mean, whenever we have done panic buys, it's just turned out to be absolute shite. Nunez is another one into that thing. It was an absolute panic buy. Counting assists, Nunez glory days at Wolves and Sporting weren't as a winger, foot for thought, but he cannot play as a winger in a Pep Guardiola. Sorry, he cannot play as a midfielder in a Pep Guardiola system. His first touch is not good enough, and I think from day one, people in this community have pointed it out that Nunez first touch is not good enough to play as a winger, to be honest. So, so I just think Pep is playing him in on. Sorry, is not good enough to play in the midfield. So Pep playing him as a winger. Look at him, how many loose touches he's had. Those many loose touches in the midfield, Salah will actually bury you. To be honest. So I think you can blame City, you can laugh at City, you can do whatever you want to do, but then you look at it, how is Pep supposed to compete with Gundogan, Lewis, and Bernardo in the midfield, or Gundogan, Lewis, and Foden in the midfield? That is an impossible midfield, right? No physicality, you cannot win second balls, no one there covers the ground well. There's absolutely nothing in that midfield, to be honest. We're proud of. We cannot compete, I'm sorry, unless the boat And unless the board signs in January, you cannot. And it's not just depending on Rodri. You look at the options there. I think Pep has become a bit emotional this time, and he's given Walker, he's given Gundogan things, because you just imagine you get another midfielder, you get Danny, you get, I mean, who's the midfielder at Fulham? Who's the midfielder at Fulham? I think Van Berger or someone is the midfielder at Fulham. Haaland referred him there, and City were about to sign him as cover for Rodri, but Gundogan came and Pep thought CDM Gundogan will be alright. Just imagine you get Van Berger, who's doing exceptional at Fulham, by the way. You get Van Berger in place of Gundogan, and you have someone like a Frimpong or a Hakimi in place of Walker. Suddenly the team is good. You have a natural CDM, and you have Kovacic as a backup. Okay, he's injured. Now Kovacic as a backup. You have a natural CDM. Suddenly Foden can play there, and suddenly can play Gundogan much more higher up as an attacking box-to-box midfielder. Which means suddenly Gundogan will make those runs. Which means there'll be more space for Erling Haaland. So suddenly one thing is messed up and everything is being hit upon. But anyway, guys, I think after the final result itself, I actually thought that this season is going to be a lot of issues we'll have to solve. The target is, am I giving up on the title? It's not being giving up. It's about one step at a time. And for us, the target this time is second place. I think this season, second place, a domestic trophy and semi-finals in the Champions League will at least will be a success for me, to be honest. And I'll leave you with the quote which Bayaji actually wrote. It says, "Mera pani utarte dekh, mera pani utarte dekh, किनारे पर मत बना घर मत बना लेना, मेरे पानी उतरते देख, किनारे पर घर मत बना लेना, मैं समुंदर हूँ, लौट कर वापस आऊंगा." Believe in Pep. They buried us thinking we are seeds, and look at us outgrow everyone. See you all, guys, and just back the team, because the team needs you more than ever. The team cares about you, and the team